Hi there, Mark here again with another in the Music Theory for Bass series of video lessons. As always, make sure to check out all the other videos on the Talking Bass video YouTube channel. You'll find lessons on all areas of bass playing, and there's at least a new lesson every week. You can also find these lessons along with a load of bass articles, reviews and downloads over at www.talkingbass.net. So check that out too. So last lesson we covered the chords that we can build in a major key. In this lesson, the concept will be exactly the same, but this time we're going to be building chords in a minor key. First of all, make sure that you're okay with the material that I covered in the minor scales and keys lesson and the chords in a major key lesson. If any of this seems too advanced, just work your way back through the previous lessons and I'm sure that you'll be fine. Otherwise, just ask a question either in the comments below or contact me through the Talking Bass website and I'll be happy to answer any questions. So when we write or play in a minor key, we generally use one of the two main minor scales, the harmonic minor or the melodic minor. We'll look at the chords that we can generate from both scales, so first let's take a look at the harmonic minor. So if you remember, the harmonic minor scale is made up of the intervals the major second, the minor third, perfect fourth, the perfect fifth, the minor sixth, the major seventh, or 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, 7, and then back to the octave. So if we look at a C harmonic minor scale, starting over here on the 8th fret of the E string, we've got the following: C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B, and C. Or 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, 7, and then back to the octave. Okay? Now, if we use the same principle as in last lesson of building thirds from each degree of the scale, but only using the same diatonic palette of C harmonic minor notes for each of the thirds, we get the following triads. So we have chord 1 here from the C in C harmonic minor, C, E flat, and G. Okay, so that's C minor. So chord 1 in a harmonic minor scale is a C minor. So again, what we've done there is we've built thirds from each note. So we have a C to E flat, that's a minor third, and then the E flat, we skip a note in the scale to the G. So we have E flat to G, which is a major third. So we have C to E flat to G, C minor. Then chord 2, we have D, move up the scale, skip a note, we have an F, skip another note, skip the G to the A flat, we have D, F, A flat, which is a D diminished. So chord 1 is C minor, chord 2 is D diminished. And if we carry on using the same principle, we have E flat here, chord 3, skip a note, skip the F to the G, skip another note, the A flat, and we're up to the B. So we have E flat, G, B, which is an E flat augmented. So far we have chord 1, C minor, chord 2, D diminished, chord 3, E flat augmented, all within the C harmonic minor scale. So now let's carry on. We've got F, skip a note, skip the G to the A flat, skip another note, skip the B to the C. So we have F, A flat, C, which is F minor. So chord 4 is minor. We'll carry on. Chord 5, we have G, skip a note, skip the A flat to the B, skip another note, skip the C to the D, we have G, B, D, which is G major. We'll carry on. A flat, next note in the harmonic minor scale. Skip a note, so we skip the B, we get to a C. Skip another note, skip the D, we get to an E flat, so we have A flat, C, E flat, which is a major chord. So we have A flat major, and then we're up to the B, so skip a note, skip the C, we're up to a D, skip another note, skip the E flat to an F, so we have B, D, F, which is B diminished. So chord 7 in harmonic minor scale is diminished, in this case B diminished. So to recap, in a minor key, if we're using the harmonic minor scale, we have the following chords. We have chord 1 is minor, chord 2 is diminished, chord 3 is augmented, chord 4 is minor, chord 5 is major, chord 6 is major, and chord 7 is diminished. So in the key of C minor, using the C harmonic minor scale, we've got the following chords. Chord 1 is C minor. Chord 2, D diminished. Chord 3, E flat augmented. Chord 4, F minor. Chord 5, G major. Chord 6, A flat major. Chord 7, B diminished. And back to chord 1, C minor. Okay? So let's play through that sequence of chords in the C harmonic minor scale using arpeggios built from the roots on the A string. Okay? So C minor would be, we'll be including the octave as well. D diminished. E flat augmented. F minor. G major. A flat major. B diminished. And we're back to C. Each of the arpeggios will be starting on the second finger, and if you have any problems, just look at the tab and the sheet music that's downloadable from below this video or from talkingbass.net. Okay? So, the backing track. 3, 4. C minor. D diminished. E flat augmented. F minor. A flat major, B diminished, back to C. So now we have a palette of chords at our disposal, we can try putting them together to make chord progressions. So let's try playing the arpeggios through 3 basic chord progressions along with the backing track so that we can see and hear these chords in a more practical context. I'll use the second finger arpeggio patterns where I can for some kind of consistency, but I do sometimes change and use first finger ones or fourth finger ones. You can use any arpeggio fingering or pattern that you like, and it's actually a good idea to mix them up to get a little bit of practice. So first of all, we'll try 2 bars of C minor, then 1 bar of D diminished and 1 bar of G major, repeated. Okay, so with the backing track, 3, 4. So next up, let's again try 2 bars of C minor, followed by 1 bar of A flat major and then a bar of G major. Okay? Finally, let's try 1 bar of C minor, 1 bar of E flat augmented, 1 bar of F minor, and then a bar of G major. So we have C minor, E flat augmented, F minor, G major. So this is a 1, 3, 4, 5 progression. 2, 3, 4. So of course, beyond this, we can use these arpeggios to create more interesting melodies or bass lines through the chord progressions. These exercises are just to give you the raw materials that you can use for your own musical ideas. Now we've covered the triads, let's try building 7th chords from each step of the harmonic minor scale. If we follow that same process of stacking thirds, we get the following sequence of chords in the minor key, and instead of just showing each individual chord, I'll just give you the sequence, okay? So chord 1 is minor major 7, chord 2 is minor 7 flat 5, chord 3 is a major 7 sharp 5, chord 4 is a minor 7, chord 5 is a dominant 7 chord 6 is major 7, and chord 7 is a diminished 7th chord. So once again, I'll run through these chords in C minor. So using C harmonic minor, we have the following 7th chords. C minor major 7, chord 2, D minor 7 flat 5, chord 3, E flat major 7 sharp 5, chord 4 is F minor 7, chord 5 is G dominant 7 or G7, chord 6 is A flat major 7, and chord 7 is B diminished 7. And then we're back to C. And of course, if you have any problems with any of these chords or arpeggios, just run back through the chord construction lessons that are also on the YouTube channel. So let's try the same exercise as before, playing these arpeggios built from root notes along the A string, again using the backing track so that we can hear how the chords sound behind us, but bear in mind that this time the time signature is going to be 6/4, even though the counting's in 4. So when we come back down and I land on the root note again, there'll just be a bar of 2. So just think 2 beats for each note when it comes back, just in case you're finding it a little bit strange, okay? So, with the backing track, 2, 3, 4. C minor major 7, D minor 7 flat 5, E flat major 7 sharp 5, F minor 7, G7, A flat major 7, B diminished 7. Okay, so now let's try running arpeggios through those chord progressions that we used previously, but this time we'll be using 7th chords instead of triads. So the first chord progression is going to be C minor major 7 for 2 bars, then D minor 7 flat 5 for a bar, and then G7 for a bar. So it's a 1, 2, 5 progression. Okay? So, with the track, 2, 3, 4. So the next progression will be C minor major 7 for 2 bars, A flat major 7 for a bar, and G7 for a bar. Okay? So now this third progression will be C minor major 7 for a bar, E flat major 7 sharp 5 for a bar, F minor 7 for a bar, and G7 for a bar. So it's a 1, 3, 4, 5 progression. Okay? Okay, so that's the harmonic minor scale taken care of. Now let's look at the melodic minor scale. We'll be using the ascending version of the scale for building our chords. So here's a C melodic minor scale ascending, also called a jazz minor scale. We'll start on the 8th fret of the E string. So we have C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B, C. Or 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the octave. C melodic minor. So to save time, because we already by now know how to build chords from the scale, we'll just run through the sequence of chords. So first of all, the triads. So we have chord 1 is minor, chord 2 is minor, chord 3 is augmented, chord 4 is major, chord 5 is major, chord 6 is diminished, and chord 7 is diminished. Okay? So if we run through those arpeggios in C minor, so using the C melodic minor scale, we get the following. So we have chord 1 is C minor, chord 2 is D minor, chord 3 is E flat augmented, chord 4 is F major, chord 5 is G major, chord 6 is A diminished, and chord 7 is B diminished. And then we're back to chord 1, C minor. So as block chords, we get the following: C minor, D minor, E flat augmented, F major, G major, A diminished, B diminished, and back to C minor. Okay? So now let's run through the chords of the C melodic minor scale with the backing track, so starting with C minor. D minor, E flat augmented, F major, G major, A diminished, B diminished. Okay, so now let's try some chord progressions. So here's C minor for 2 bars, D minor for a bar, and G major for a bar. So this is 1, 2, 5. D minor, G major, C minor, D minor, G major. So the next progression is C minor for 2 bars, F major for a bar, and G major for a bar. So it's a 1, 4, 5 progression. And the first time through, I'll use an F major down here at the first, starting on the 1st fret with an open string, and the second time I'll use it with the F starting here at the 8th fret on the A string. This is just to give a little bit of variation. And remember that you can use whichever arpeggios that you want anywhere on the neck. Just, you know, mix them up for a little bit of variation and just to get a little bit of practice, okay? But for now, just follow the PDF if you have any problems, okay? So, C minor, F major, G major, C minor, and up to the F major, G major up here. Okay. For the next progression, we'll use C minor for 2 bars, A diminished for a bar, and G major for a bar. So we've got a 1, 6, 5 progression. Okay. C minor, A minor diminished, G major, C minor, A diminished, G major. So now if we build seventh chords from a melodic minor scale, extending the triads, we get the following. We have chord 1 is minor major 7, chord 2 is minor 7, chord 3 is a major 7 sharp 5, chord 4 is a dominant 7, chord 5 is a dominant 7, chord 6 is a minor 7 flat 5, and chord 7 is a minor 7 flat 5. Okay, so these are a little bit different from the harmonic minor scale. So now let's play through those arpeggios, all starting with roots on the A string, okay, in C minor, or C melodic minor. So we have chord 1 is C minor major 7. Chord 2 is D minor 7. Chord 3 is E flat major 7 sharp 5. Chord 4 is F7 or F dominant 7. Chord 5 is G7 or G dominant 7. Chord 6 is A minor 7 flat 5. And chord 7 is B minor 7 flat 5. And then we're back to C minor major 7. Okay, so again with the backing track, these chords are C minor major 7, D minor 7, E flat minor major 7 sharp 5, F7, G7, A minor 7 flat 5, B minor 7 flat 5, we're back to C. So again, let's try the same chord progressions that we just tried with the triads, but with seventh chords. So the first chord progression is going to be C minor major 7 for 2 bars, D minor 7, G7. Okay, so 1, 2, 5, 3, 4. So the next progression will be C minor major 7 for 2 bars, F7, G7. So 1, 4, 5. So now finally we have C minor major 7 for 2 bars, A minor 7 flat 5 and G7. So again 1, 6, 5 progression. So that's the chords that we have available to us in the 2 main minor scales. So we've now covered chords in both major and minor keys. A lot of the study of harmony deals with how we combine these chords to create chord progressions, and we'll be getting to all of that info soon enough. So you can experiment with putting these chords together to create your own chord progressions. Don't worry about how they sound for now, just experiment and have fun with the material and try to memorize the chords that are built on each of the scale degrees. Okay, as per usual, please like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. There's a whole load of lessons to watch at my YouTube video channel, and the lessons are also available over at talkingbass.net. There you can watch the lessons and also download the accompanying PDFs and the backing tracks as well. If you subscribe to the talkingbass.net newsletter, you can also download my free scale reference guide, and it's got loads of stuff to practice. And if that's not enough, you can also go over to the store and now buy my super duper study book of scales for bass guitar. It's a huge encyclopedia of scales, and it's got loads of practice tips and exercises and just loads of stuff. So check that out too. Okay, see you later.